Moving on to the question 14, it is to classify and analyze samples. That is, read through each of these sentences and then understand what it is. Burton divides his sports t-shirts by team. Then he randomly selects 4 t-shirts from each team and records the size. Now, what did he do here is he has first divided all the t-shirts based on teams. So if he had 4 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, he first divided them evenly. So there might be, large, medium, XL, and another medium, So in this team, he has just grouped one, then again he has grouped other one, 4, and then 4 more, 4 more. And then he selects randomly one of these, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what he has done is he has divided at the beginning. He has stratified the data in the sense dividing into a certain criteria over here by the teams, or if you divide students by ages, then it will become stratified. So this is stratified basically. And you need to also know what is the sample size and everything, right? Let me give you an example before we solve this problem. Imagine you have chocolates with you, okay? You have, say, 12 chocolates. Now you need to choose the chocolates. Now you're randomly choosing 4 chocolates. Imagine these are all mixed chocolates, okay? They might be of different shapes and sizes. Now you're randomly choosing 4. So now you have chosen the 4 randomly selected. Here, always remember, the sample is what you have chosen, the 4 chocolates that have been chosen. Then we have something called population, which is the total possibilities which we could choose from. So all the 12 ones which were there in front of you are the population. And the chosen one which you chose are the sample. I hope you get the difference. So whatever we can choose from is basically the population. That means entire possibilities. And the sample is what we have chosen. And then which type of this is? This is just a simple random selection. There's nothing much we did in that. So here, the sample would be whatever the t-shirts, the 4 t-shirts he has selected, right? That would be the sample. Can you see the t-shirts Burton selected? The population is all the possible t-shirts, all sports t-shirts, that whatever were there, And this is stratified because he divided them into teams and then he selected. Now you can try this by yourself and then we will continue. The project manager at a new business inspects every 10th smartphone produced to check that it is operating correctly. Now here, when you do something after a certain amount of time, in the sense 10th smartphone or 5th student or second object, something like that, every second object. So you're doing in a system. So this is systematic. Now, what is the population here? Population is all the smartphones, whatever is there. And the sample is the 10th smartphone, that is every 10th smartphone that is selected. Sample is every 10th smartphone because that is only being tested, right? Population is all the smartphones which are being produced in that company and systematic way of sampling. Now, the thing is, you will have the 4 options. You just have to read the sentence and see the options and you can easily, understand. See, now, if this is 10th, you can easily eliminate the other option. It is systematic. Whereas over here, it has to be stratified, And a grocery store manager asks its customers to submit suggestions for item on the salad bar during the week. Now, first of all, let's see the sample is whoever does the survey. They're asking suggestions, like it might be a survey. And all the customers who are going to a store are basically the population. Among that, whoever do the survey, whoever accept to do it. Some may tell, no, I'm busy, I'm not going to do it. So whoever do it will be the sample. And what type of study is this? What type of sample? Is it simple, random, systematic, self-selected, convenience, stratified? Now he is asking the customer who is coming over there. Now there is a bit confusion between self-selected and convenience. Now, how can we differentiate these both? Is it self-selected or convenience? Now, convenience is who are readily available. Now, if the manager asks the customer who are presently there at that particular time, then it is convenience. But now he is just selecting customers throughout the day, right? I mean, it can be any time because customers to submit whoever comes in that day. So it's self-selected. He's self-selecting the customers only, not anyone else. He's not going out and selecting. It will be self-selected rather than convenience. So the answer is customers who submit the suggestion. Population is all customers who are coming to the shop, and it's a self-selected. Now then, we have to identify the bias or whether it's unbiased in these particular sentences. A random sample of 8 people is asked to select their favorite food for a survey about Americans' food preference. Now, this, random people, very good, that is not biased, but they are just choosing 8 people to, report about America's food preferences. So the 8 people will, have similar likings or something. Maybe they are completely random as well in different places, but still they wouldn't represent the entire country. You can't just tell from 8 people this is America's food preference. There's no way this would be right because the sample size is so small. So this is biased because the sample size is too small, and it doesn't represent the population. Here, every 10th student at a band camp is asked to name his or her favorite band for a survey about the campus. Okay, every 10 students, just random, it's unbiased here. Why? Because you're just choosing random every 10th student, and his or her favorite band. That's fine. You're just choosing, favorite bands of random students. So it'll be varied. So you can tell it's unbiased. They are randomly selected, and the sample is all the band camps. See, now there's one more important thing. They're not just choosing 10 students or 5 students. They're choosing the 10th student of every band camp. Now imagine there are 100. So randomly 10 students, every 10th will be selected. So that is more than enough. That is a good representation of the population. Now here, every 5th person entering a museum is asked to name his or her favorite type of book to read for a survey about reading interests of the people in the city. Now here it looks very unbiased, but they are just asking every 5th person entering a museum. Now, who are the people generally going to museum? They might have a liking, similar common things. So, generally the ones who go to museum will like to read a certain genre of books. So that will be biased because you're not going to say sports club or libraries and museums and stores and asking. You're just going to museum. Whereas, if you go to a comic book store, they might like other type of books. So you can't represent just going to museum the entire population of the city. So therefore, this is biased because they're just going to museum. This is also biased then. Do you think that the workout facility needs a new treadmill and racquetball court? Now, here this would be really unbiased, but here look at this last two. Do you think the facility needs a treadmill and a racquetball court? Now, whenever you tell, do you agree with me? Do you think like this? And you're telling two of the options, and it's not like or as well. You're not giving them a choice. You're telling this. So it's just you're kind of pressuring them to tell yes. So this is also biased because you should not tell new treadmill or racquetball court. You're issuing like it's basically the question is about two issues, and you're just like enforcing your answer. You can say it's kind of like that. So that's why this would be biased. Uh, Unbiased question would be, what do you think the workout facility would need? That would be much better. That will be unbiased. You're just asking their opinions or you're asking their point of views. So, but this will be biased because you're suggesting them this. What about this one? Which is your favorite type of music? Favorite type of music, pop or country? Now there are so many different type of music, and you're just giving them two options. Again, it's biased, isn't it? This will be biased because you're not giving them their own free choice. You're just restricting them to pop or country. What about if they like rock music or some other music? So this is again biased. Are you a member of any after school club? See, now this is unbiased. Why? Because you're just asking a person, are you a member of any after school club? You're not enforcing any of your opinions. You're not pressurizing them to answer anything. It's just that if they are going to any club, they will tell you, right? This is unbiased. There's no influence for the participants. Don't you agree that employees should pack their lunch? See, whenever you tell don't you agree or this, you're biasing, you're making them, tell yes. This is again biased. You should never ask this, don't you agree? See, the phrase don't you agree means it is biased. And now we have to classify over here each sample as simple, random, systematic, self-selected, convenience. Okay. and then determine, okay, whether they're survey, observational study, or experiment. To determine the music preferences of their customers, the manager of a music store selected 10 customers in the store to participate in an interview. Now, basically, interview would mean similar to a survey. See, look at the options we have: a survey, observational study, and experiment. Let me just differentiate these three, which are very important. Survey is basically like interviews, or asking something, or giving them a real survey, online survey, and asking them to fill it up. Whereas observational study is just observing and no influencing, okay? No influence or contact, nothing like that. It is just you're observing, you're just watching them, you're not doing anything to them. For experiment, there will always be two groups. The first group will be being doing something, the second group will be doing something else. There'll be a control group and the experimental group. So we can see what is happening. We can see the difference between these two. So that is the thing. Now, here, looking at this particular question, it's an interview. So obviously, it's a survey. Very straightforward. But who are being selected? If you read carefully, the manager of a music store selected 10 customers in the store. So the customers in the store are being selected, not any customer coming throughout the day, not like the 10th customer or random customers, whoever are present at that particular time. So it is convenience because they're doing it right then and there at their convenience rather than waiting for the entire day, isn't it? So 10 customers in that store at that particular time, isn't it? So it's convenience and it's a survey. That'd be the answer. It's convenience and survey. And what about this one here? Administrators at a community library want to know the type of materials patrons are most likely to use. Every Friday, they record the type of media each patron uses. Now, here you should first of all, what are they doing? They're just trying to know what the patrons of a particular community are using, which maybe some instruments or something like that. So on Friday they just record the type of media. They're not doing anything, they're not asking them anything, they're not doing an experiment, they're just observing them, right? It's observational study. Now then, how was this study taken? Okay, I was about to tell it's self-selected because only patrons are selected, but no, it's every Friday. See, when are they recording? The patrons are being recorded. Okay, that's the sample, what they want and the population. But when are they being recorded? Every Friday. It's like every fifth or sixth, every particular day. If it was every Monday, that's systematic. So that is the thing. It's like selecting the every fifth person in a group or something like that. It'll be a systematic and observational study. Yeah, that's the answer. And the last question in this topic: to determine whether the school should purchase new computer software, the technology divides a group of 50 students into a group by age. Now, whenever they say 50 students in two groups by age, what happens? It's stratified. When they are dividing or grouping the students in age, or say, for example, based on grades or something like that, it's always stratified. Half of the students of each group are randomly selected to complete an activity using the current computer software. So half are doing the normal way, what they're supposed to do. And the other half of the students from each group complete the same activity using a new computer software. It's experiment. They're trying something new. See, there are two groups done. One is the control group, one is the experimental group. And they're observing the whatever the results and record and analyzing it. So it's basically stratified and experiment. And that is the end of this topic. I know it is a little bit of reading and reasoning, but once you understand few rules about what is a bias or what type of studies it is, then it'll be pretty straightforward.